Now my Heidelberg, Kite Ipijif TV, Complete Takoinawa. Nowadays, today we have a special edition of Ipijif TV. We'll be taking our latest step in our Pupuke Taniwha, learning about Pupuke. Its amazing natural beauty, rich history, the really boring state of the Lake's Maori, or cycles. So Lake Pupuke's full name is actually Pupuke Moana, which means river flowing lake. It's a rota between the suburbs of Takapuna and Moffatt on the north shore of Auckland, New Zealand. Pupuke is a heart-shaped freshwater lake occupying Avocado Crater. It's known by two names, Proctor Pupuke in Maori, or when we say it in English, we say Lake Pupuke. It's the second oldest volcano in Auckland, and it is a caldera volcano, which means it collapsed after it erupted and then it filled with fresh water. According to Maori legend, there used to be a large mountain called Ruamoana, where the lake is now. But the people living there cursed the gods by not sharing the secret of fire. So the gods got angry and took revenge by destroying Ruamoana, and the crater left behind filled up with fresh water. Ruamoana later appeared in the hierarchy gulf and is today called Rangitoto Island. Pupuke is a place where local schools do waterwise. Waterwise is where we learn how to sail, kayak, and build rafts. It is also a place where people go to work, relax, and learn. As Pupuke Taniwha, we wanted to have better protection from pollution and misuse by petitioning the government to have a place in the protection of our marine park. By being placed in the protection of the marine park, it will have the following benefits for the lake. 1. Greater protection and enhancement of and for the lake, the animals, and the environment of the rota. 2. Greater protection of the cultural and historic connections of people and communities and around the rota. 3. Better control of how industries such as recreational sport companies, building companies, environmentalists, and local council use and impact on the health of the rota. 4. Ensure that people who use recreational sports do so in a healthy marine environment. This week we have Fire Daisy Proctor with us from Sustainable Schools, which is a part of the Auckland Council. Daisy is the Avocado Sustainable School advisor. Her job is to work with people and places made by each school and help learning for sustainability. But first, let's update our journey from the last few weeks. Now, Taniwha Forestry School has met and interviewed Tom Rowlands from the Auckland Museum, who told us about food sources and sea life are being affected by sea urchins and waterways. We also met with Wiley Hathaway from Young Ocean Explorers. Their purpose is to help and protect sea life. Their vision is to give children the tools to make a better future for our oceans and stop polluting our oceans. We have also had Dean Ogilvy and Alex Rogers from the Hierarchy Gulf Forum. We have been busy learning around Lake Pupuke, so it brings us to today's interview, Daisy Proctor. Daisy Proctor, Avocado School's Sustainable School advisor. Her job is to work with people, places, and by each school. The aim is to empower students, help learning about sustainability, respect, and diversity of people and cultures. Avocado School's aim is to produce citizens who think and act on behalf of the environment. Questions. 1. Can you please tell us what your job is?
So kia ora, ko Daisy Tokuinwa, and I'm first of all really impressed by all the knowledge about Lake Pupuke and who you've been speaking to. That's really great. So I work for the Auckland Council for the Sustainable Schools team, and what we do is we're working towards empowering students, so creating these projects, sustainability projects, and really work with different schools, different teachers, helping connect communities and teachers together, really to help support with sustainability initiatives like this one. So I think our key role is to empower students to do something to protect the environment, to work with teachers and also other organisations as well, to make people feel confident about protecting the environment.
What legal protections does the Lake Pupuke currently have to ensure it is a healthy lake?
Okay, so I need to do a little bit more research around this one, but I do know that Auckland Council have a statutory obligation to research and collect data about the environment. So statutory obligation means that they have a legal obligation to monitor the environment, and that includes lakes, oceans, and forests as well. And I can tell you a little bit on that in a minute. So I think your next question might be about how the council monitors Lake Pupuke. So I've got some notes written here. So Auckland Council has a certain department called REME, and that stands for Research and Evaluation Unit. So as I said before, they have a statutory obligation to monitor the environment. So what they do is they monitor the water quality of beaches and lakes, and they're trying to identify the impact that the city has on the environment. What they do with this water quality monitoring is they're trying to check and make sure that Auckland Council's policies match and kind of support improving the lake quality and also maintaining its quality. So we can kind of assess the life supporting capacity of the lakes, assess the quality of the lakes for recreational use, so that's your water-wise use, detect trends in water quality, and then also, as I said before, assess the efficiency of council initiatives and policies and lake management strategies. We can make sure that we've got the right policies in there to protect the lake and the water. Okay.
What kind of things can we do to make the lake safer for swimming?
Okay, so there are a few things you can do. I think one of the key things is making sure that people don't litter, so in and around the lake, kind of spreading that awareness of rubbish. Don't drop the rubbish, because we all know that if we drop rubbish on the floor, then that can go into the drains, and then that ends up in our streams, our lakes, and then eventually in our seas. So, spreading that awareness that, put your recycle your rubbish, put it in the correct bins, and don't litter. And next thing you could probably do is not feed the ducks at the lake bread. Sometimes see people feed the ducks bread, but actually bread isn't part of their diet, so if we're going to feed them, we should be feeding them kind of seeds. And what happens with the bread is it kind of sinks to the bottom, and it's a breeding ground for bacteria, and it can decompose, and that changes the nutrient levels in the lakes, and then that can cause things like algal bloom, and it's not really very good for the biodiversity or the kind of ecosystem of the lake. So don't feed the ducks bread. Litter, don't litter. And another thing would be, so when you take part in your water-wise activities, so when you do kayaking, make sure that your equipment is dry and clean. Because if you've got wet equipment, then that can transfer kind of pest animals, invasive species of plants, and that can transfer it into the lake. So it's a really good idea to make sure that any of the equipment you use is really clean and dry. So that's a really key aspect as well. So those are three things that you can kind of focus on, which can have really positive results.
What resources does Auckland Council provide for schools to help investigate water quality in the area?
Okay, so Auckland Council, we can lend you these wire testing kits. So today I'm going to do a little bit of water testing with you. And you can get your Sustainable Schools advisors to come in and either help classes or teach the teachers to support you with water quality testing. Also, we do have quite a lot of experience centres around Auckland, one of them being in the Waitakere Ranges, so Avocado, and you can actually go along for school trips and take part in water testing and analysing water quality and find out a bit more about the background there, to kind of as a lead on from what we're doing today. Yes.
Does the Auckland Council have any programs that could help us with repairing planting around the lake?
Repairing planting, really good, brilliant idea. So if the planting is on school's ground, we can help you get funding towards buying plants, and that's through the natural environment rates. Also, if there is a park or reserve on the lake, so maybe one of the reserves, you could take part in Council's Adopt a Park programme. An Adopt a Park programme really focuses on you getting to know the environment, so the reserve, and they'll help you with things like tree planting and mulching, pest control, weeding, litter collection, monitoring wildlife. So all those things that we've just talked about to help improve or maintain the quality of water in the lake. So that could be something that we can investigate, and I can put you in touch with the relevant people for that as well.
Will you support our petition to add a lake and Howard Marine Park?
Of course I will. Yeah, anything positive for Lake. Brilliant.
Kinako Daisy, thank you for sharing this information about how the Auckland City Council cares for our local wildlife. Thanks for joining us on FHS TV, and we continue on our journey for the better protection